Hello, my name is Melody, and welcome to my podcast, Melody's Ambience. I'm here to help you relax, to slow down, and to calm your mind. In each episode, I usually play you 25 minutes of beautifully ambient sounds, music, stories, and poetry. But in this special episode, I have something a little different for you. I invite you to spend some time with me at my summer home on the river. So, as this episode is a little different, then let's begin. The river escape. The rhythmic lapping of water against the hull was my constant lullaby. Each morning, a gentle sway announced the day, a subtle reminder that my home was alive, a breathing entity on the river's liquid spine. Sunbeams, fractured by the ripples, danced across the cabin walls, painting shifting patterns of light and shadow. The air, even indoors, carried the faint, earthy scent of damp soil and burgeoning reeds, a perfume unique to my watery domain. My first act was always to open the hatch, letting the morning air flood in, cool and crisp against my face. The world outside was a canvas of ever-changing greens and blues, punctuated by the vibrant hues of wildflowers clinging to the banks. A gentle mist often clung to the surface of the river in these early hours, giving the landscape an ethereal, dreamlike quality. Breakfast was a simple affair: strong tea and toasted bread, eaten on the small deck at the stern. From this vantage point, I had a front row seat to the awakening world. The sun, a burgeoning orange sphere, climbed slowly above the horizon, casting long, slender shadows across the water. The river itself was a mirror, reflecting the sky and the trees with an almost perfect clarity. Sometimes a kingfisher would dart past, a flash of electric blue against the muted greens, its call a sharp, joyful cry. These fleeting moments were treasures, held close in my memory. Life on the boat was a deliberate counterpoint to the hurried pace of the land. There was no rush, no schedule to adhere to. The river dictated the tempo, its current a subtle hand guiding my journey. Each day was an unfolding narrative, a slow reveal of new landscapes and new experiences. The engine, when engaged, offered a comforting hum, a low thrumming vibration that resonated through the boat. We traveled at a languid pace, just fast enough to make progress, but slow enough to truly absorb our surroundings. Watching the wildlife was a perpetual fascination. Dragonflies, iridescent jewels, hovered over the water, their delicate wings catching the light. swallows dipped and sawed, their agile forms a blur against the sky as they pursued unseen insects. Water voles, shy and elusive, sometimes peeked out from the bank, their tiny eyes bright with curiosity. Geese, in their ponderous dignity, would often paddle alongside for a stretch, their webbed feet creating small, V-shaped wakes. Ducks, with their endless quacking and dabbling, were a constant presence, their antics providing endless amusement. Even the occasional sleek otter, a fleeting glimpse of dark fur and a powerful tail, would send a thrill through me. The river itself was a microcosm of life, a vibrant ecosystem teeming with activity. The reeds rustled with unseen creatures. The water rippled with the movements of fish below the surface. Every bend in the river promised a new vista, a fresh perspective on the familiar. When the urge for solitude struck, I would search for a quiet eddy, a secluded stretch of bank where I could drop anchor. Mooring up in seclusion was a cherished ritual. The engine would fall silent, replaced by the symphony of the river, the gentle gurgle of the current, the distant call of a cuckoo, the rustle of leaves in the breeze. These were the moments of true peace. With the boat securely tied, I would unfurl a blanket on the deck, shedding my clothes and reveling in the warmth of the sun. Sunbathing on deck was a luxurious indulgence, a complete surrender to the elements. The sun, high in the summer sky, baked my skin, a comforting heat that seeped into my bones. The air, still and heavy with the warmth of the day, carried the sweet scent of honeysuckle and wild roses from the bank. The only sounds were the distant buzz of insects and the soft sigh of the wind through the trees. Sometimes I would drift off, lulled by the gentle rocking of the boat and the warmth of the sun. Waking to the feeling of sun-warmed skin and the sight of fluffy white clouds drifting across the azure sky was a pure, unadulterated joy. There was a profound sense of contentment in these moments, a feeling of being utterly at one with my surroundings. After a few days of such blissful isolation, a different kind of longing would begin to stir within me. The pull of human connection, of vibrant energy, would start to beckon. The river, in its meandering course, often led me to places where the wildness gave way to the hum of civilization. The approach to a city was always marked by a gradual shift in the soundscape. The distant rumble of traffic would grow louder, the chirping of birds replaced by the faint clamor of human voices. Buildings would begin to appear on the horizon, slowly growing in size and density. The transition from the verdant banks to the concrete jungle was stark, yet invigorating. The river, once a serene pathway through nature, now became a bustling artery, ferrying barges and pleasure craft alongside my small boat. The scent of damp earth was replaced by the aroma of exhaust fumes and the tantalizing smells of street food. Stopping in the center of the city was an immersion into a completely different world. The boat, dwarfed by the towering buildings, felt like a tiny island in a sea of activity. The dockside was alive with people, a vibrant tapestry of faces and voices. The sounds were a constant symphony. The clang of trams, the chatter of conversations, the distant wail of sirens, the incessant beat of music from open windows. I loved the energy, the feeling of being part of something larger, something dynamic and alive. Evenings were spent exploring. The city offered a myriad of choices, each promising a unique experience. I would enjoy the bars, their interiors warm and inviting, filled with the laughter and camaraderie of strangers. The clinking of glasses, the murmur of conversation, the scent of hops and roasted coffee. These were the fragrances of urban living. The food was a particular delight. After days of simple meals cooked on board, the diverse offerings of restaurants were a welcome change. From spicy curries to crisp pizzas, each meal was an adventure for my taste buds. The atmosphere, often bustling and lively, added to the enjoyment. And then there was the hustle and bustle of shopping. The streets were a kaleidoscope of colors and textures, storefronts beckoning with their glittering displays. I loved to wander, to browse, to simply absorb the sheer volume of human endeavor and creativity on display. The crowds, once a source of quiet contemplation from a distance, now enveloped me. I became part of the flow, swept along by the currents of humanity. There was a strange comfort in this anonymity, a freedom in being just one face among many. But even the most exhilarating urban adventure eventually reached its peak. After a few days, the relentless energy of the city would begin to feel overwhelming. The constant noise, the endless stream of people, the artificial glow of streetlights, all of it would slowly start to wear on me. A quiet longing would return, a yearning for the gentle rocking of the boat, the hushed whispers of the river, the profound solitude of nature. The siren call of the wild, once temporarily muted, would grow louder, an insistent whisper in my ear. And so, with a final, lingering look at the illuminated skyline, I would untie the ropes. The engine would rumble to life once more, a familiar, comforting sound. Slowly, deliberately, we would leave again for the peace and quiet. The transition was always gradual. The sounds of the city would recede, replaced by the chirping of crickets and the croaking of frogs. The bright lights would dim, giving way to the soft glow of the moon on the water and the twinkling of stars overhead. The air would grow cooler, cleaner, carrying the scent of damp earth and night-blooming flowers. The river, once a bustling highway, would transform back into a tranquil pathway, its surface reflecting the dark, silent world above. The boat would glide almost silently through the night, a dark silhouette against the paler sky. I would stand on deck, feeling the gentle breeze on my face, watching the lost vestiges of the city disappear behind us. The familiar rhythm of the river would reassert itself, a soothing balm to my senses. The constant ebb and flow, the subtle shifts in the current, the rustle of reeds along the bank. These were the true sounds of home. As we moved further away, the stars would grow brighter, unhindered by the glare of urban lights. The Milky Way would stretch across the sky, a glittering band of cosmic dust, a breathtaking reminder of the vastness and wonder of the universe. And in that moment, surrounded by the profound stillness of the river and the immensity of the night sky, I would feel a profound sense of rightness. This was my life, a beautiful dance between the wild and the refined, a constant journey guided by the gentle currents of the river. I knew, with a certainty that settled deep in my soul, that I was exactly where I was meant to be. My dearest listener, I'm writing to you today with a heart full of the gentle sway of the river and the quiet hum of an open sky. As you've journeyed with me through days on the water, watching the wildlife and soaking in the sun, perhaps you've felt a whisper of the profound peace I've come to know. This isn't just a story of a boat and a river. It's a love letter to the incredible, transformative power of escape. Think of it, that feeling of the city's hustle and bustle, the relentless demands of work, the endless to-do lists that pile up like driftwood. It's easy to get caught in that current, isn't it? To feel as though you're constantly swimming against the tide. But a regular escape, even a small one, is like finding a quiet eddy where you can pause, breathe, and simply float. The benefits are truly wonderful. Imagine the stress melting away as you trade the roar of traffic for the soft lapping of water, the glare of screens for the vibrant green of riverbanks. When you moor up in seclusion and feel the summer sun on your skin, it's not just physical warmth. It's a warmth that seeps into your soul, recharging you in ways you didn't know you needed. This isn't about abandoning your life. It's about returning to it refreshed, with clearer eyes and a lighter spirit. Stepping away allows you to gain perspective. The small worries that loom large in your daily grind often shrink when viewed against the backdrop of an expansive sky or the endless flow of a river. It reignites your curiosity, reminding you of the simple joys: a kingfisher's flash of blue, the scent of wild honeysuckle, the freedom of a day with no schedule. It's an investment in your well-being, a reset button for your mind and body. And then, when you choose to re-engage with the world, perhaps stopping in the center of the city, you appreciate its vibrancy anew. The bars, the restaurants, the energy of shopping, they feel more vivid, more exciting, because you've had the quiet contrast. You can dip into the energy without being consumed by it, knowing you always have your own personal haven to leave again for the peace and quiet. So, my dear listener, I urge you to consider the magic of these escapes. Find your own river, your own quiet space, whatever that may be. It doesn't have to be a boat. It simply needs to be a regular departure from the ordinary. For in these moments of stepping away, you don't just escape your life, you rediscover it. With the gentle current always in my heart, melody. Thank you so much for listening. In the next episode, we will return to the usual ambience of calm and peace,